I think this is way cozier. We are just going to roll with this. It's night time after all, so just make yourself comfortable, get cozy and all. And let's talk tarot! Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, Siren here. For those of you who are seeing me for the first time, I am a witchcraft practitioner, dancer and tarot and oracle lover. I'm super happy to be here with you tonight, and I just feel like talking tarot a little bit, so make yourself comfortable, grab yourself some nice hot beverage. I forgot mine as usual, but you can grab yourself something and let's just dive right into it. So in today's video I would like to talk to you about how long will it take you to learn tarot if you are a tarot beginner, or if you are someone who is just interested in tarot cards and you are wondering how long will it take you to read cards by heart, you know, without using the guidebook, because that is the goal, right? Tarot readers don't just walk around with guidebooks in their hands. A lot of people can get quite overwhelmed when they first begin to be interested in tarot and they first learn that there are 78 cards that you're supposed to read by heart. And there is also a question involved many times. How can you possibly memorize the meaning of all 78 cards? And the answer to this question is quite simple. You don't. Yes, you heard me well. You do not need to memorize every single meaning of every single card. What you do instead is that as you work with tarot, you learn to understand the energy or the topic of every card. I specifically say energy or the topic because every card encompasses sort of a spectrum of a meaning. If you will, I can get into that later. So there is no like one phrase of a meaning for every card. It's more broad, you know? I must admit, I can't really answer the question how long will it take you to learn tarot, because it depends on several factors. Now I really want to mention to you a few of these factors, and then I will proceed to give you some tips on how to make your tarot learning journey a little bit more easier and maybe possibly a little bit quicker. Factor number one, tarot deck that you are going to be learning tarot with and the access to information about this deck. You can learn tarot with both scenic and pip decks. Scenic decks being decks that are fully illustrated, meaning you have people depicted on both major arcana and minor arcana, and pip decks meaning you have minor arcana, so the four suits, pentacles, cups, swords and wands, not illustrated, or rather you don't have people depicted on them. Let's say in a card of three of cups, you will not see three people, but only the depiction of three cups in different positions and with different details, etc. Now, I will repeat here, you can learn tarot with both scenic and pip decks, and I'm saying that because I myself learned tarot with a pip deck, which, by the way, I have a video coming about that, so I will not go into it too much, but just so you know. But the really important key here is the access to the information about the deck. So factor number two is your knowledge on numerology. You do not need to know much about numerology before getting into tarot, but it can definitely help you pick the meanings up much quicker if you have at least some basic knowledge on numerology, because all 78 cards in tarot are numbered. You can also learn numerology alongside tarot, and it is actually quite helpful because it is like another layer of a meaning of a card. So yeah. Factor number three, your photographic memory, your ability to remember images. It can speed up your learning process a lot. And factor number four, the practice. Of course, how long will it take for you to learn tarot depends very much on how often do you practice reading tarot, because obviously practice makes the master. Is this how you say it in English? I hope so. English isn't my first language, by the way, so I'm sorry if I say something odd. So with all of these factors on mind, let's proceed to some tips that I have for you that might facilitate your tarot learning journey, or that may help you start off with your tarot journey. if you haven't started yet. So, tip number 1, find a deck with plenty of information about it. As I mentioned when I was speaking about the factors that will determine whether you learn quicker or slower, finding a deck with plenty of information about it is extremely important. If that is going to be the good old Rider-Waite-Smith, then be it. If it's some other deck, then just make sure you find enough information about it. Tip number 2, once you have found your deck, stick to that one deck. I know, collecting tarot decks is very tempting, especially when you see all the beautiful, shiny unboxings videos. I know, but believe me when I say that when you're first learning tarot, it is extremely helpful to stick with your deck and just learn with your deck. Get to know your deck, understand your deck. You know, you need to know it inside out. English is tricky tonight for some reason, but you know what I mean. By the way, if you want to start collecting tarot decks right away, I'm not telling you not to. I'm no one to tell you what to do or not to do. I'm just suggesting, you know, what might be a little bit easier for you. That's what I tried to say. Tip number 3, decide for yourself whether you want to read tarot in a predictive way or in a more of a psychological / spiritual way. And the reason why I wanted to include this as a tip is because the very first thing you learn is going to stick with you. And it's super difficult to relearn it. You know, and this goes for anything. This goes, I'm saying that as a dance teacher as well. So if you want to read tarot in a predictive way, then you are going to be diving deep into predictive meanings of the cards. But if you want to read tarot in more of a psychological way, I'm not saying the meanings are completely different, completely the opposite or something, but they are slightly, you know, it's just reading cards in a different light. And it kind of helps to know what you are looking for and what you want to learn. Tip number 4, make tarot your daily practice. As I said before, I'm not going to go too much into it. If you practice something, the more you practice, the better you get, the quicker you're going to get it and learn it. So same goes for tarot. Try to read for yourself. I'm not talking complicated, large tarot spreads. I'm talking more like a daily draw, you know. Pick a card in the morning, reflect on it, think about it during the day or before you go to bed, just reflect on what the card meant for you, etc. Tip number 5, journal about your tarot readings. Let's say you draw a card in the morning, write about the ideas that comes to your mind, the meanings, etc. Try to relate it to the situation or relate it to your question, and then at night, let's say, you can reflect on it, write a little bit more about, you know, like part of an experimental knowledge, how the card related to your day, for instance. You see, when you start writing, your ideas kind of get flowing easier, at least in my case they do, so this is why I wanted to include this in here. I know some people really don't like to write, and I know what it's like. I mean, many times I'm super lazy to write, but I have realized when I pull a card and I don't write about it, I think about it for like a couple of minutes and then it just like vanishes, you know, I just go about my day and completely forget about it. Versus when I actually write at least a little bit about it, then it kind of used to stay with me and I can actually use the energy and the advice of the card. Plus, when I do these reflections at night, it makes me understand the card better. Tip number 6, once you have done all the previous ones, I strongly recommend you getting a reading from another tarot reader. Or if you don't want to get a reading directly, at least try to watch some videos like a pick a card videos. There are plenty of them on YouTube, because that way you're actually seeing someone else interpreting the card, and you will realize that it really enriches how you see cards as well, because it's nice to have all the theoretical knowledge in your head, all the book knowledge, but actually seeing someone reading the card, it just opens your mind more. You will most definitely see new ways of interpretation, because every tarot reader reads a little bit differently, and that's the interesting thing about tarot actually, and this is why I love learning about it still. Yeah, I think it can really enrich your understanding of the cards. And tip number 7, which is going to be the last tip, don't stop learning tarot. You will never be quite done learning tarot. There are always new ways of interpreting cards, and there is always something new to learn. There is always some new detail. There's just always something new to look into, you know, and also you're always gaining more and more experience with the cards, etc., with different situations, with different people, and you're just never quite done learning tarot. So don't stop learning tarot. So I hope this video was helpful for you, and with all that being said, I would really like to encourage you to just continue learning or start learning tarot or continue on your tarot journey depending on where you are, because tarot really is a life-changing tool, and I'm just so happy that I found tarot and that I learned about it and that I'm on this journey, and I really wish the same for you, because it can bring a lot to your life. It can enrich your life in many ways. It can open your mind quite a lot, and yeah, it's just great. Okay, I mean, it's pretty clear that I love tarot. I literally made this channel to talk about tarot, so yeah, I do love tarot, in case you didn't know. But yeah, as I said earlier, I have a video coming about learning tarot with scenic versus pip deck, and also some Rider-Waite-Smith topics. By the way, I just want to make clear, I don't hate on Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, okay? In case someone misunderstands me or anything, I don't. I mean, I just don't read with it, okay? And I know why many people go for it. I mean, it's super accessible. There are plenty of Rider-Waite-Smith decks that are also like quite cheap. I mean, okay, there are like a million Rider-Waite-Smith clones, and some of them are probably expensive, but you know what I mean. You can just easily get it, and also there's so much information about it, so I get why people go for it. The deck isn't pretty at all, but I don't hate on it. I don't hate on it, but I'm going to further elaborate in the, I don't know if the next video, but that video is definitely coming, because yeah, I have some things to say. Let me know if you liked this video, and also if you have some problem with some tarot cards. If you struggle with the meaning of some tarot card, you can let me know, and maybe we can troubleshoot it in some video together. I don't know, let me know if that's something you would be interested in. And I think that would be it from me for today, so stay kind, and I'm going to be seeing you in the next video. Bye bye! You know those videos that are all over YouTube? Learn tarot in just 30 minutes. Do I think you can learn tarot in just 30 minutes? I don't think so. I just hope I won't get known for like hating on Rider-Waite-Smith or something.